I'm 30F, married to my husband, David, 32M, for 3 years. Before David, I was in a long-term relationship with my ex, Ryan, 33M, who betrayed me by cheating, leading to our breakup 4 years ago. My mother, however, never moved on from Ryan. She adored him and was devastated when we split, even trying to convince me to stay despite his infidelity. She struggled to accept David as my husband, despite his kindness and generosity toward her. For context, my mother, in her mid-60s, has health challenges. About 18 months ago, she was diagnosed with a chronic condition requiring costly treatments and medications. With her limited income, covering these expenses was tough. David, being compassionate, offered to assist with her medical costs. Since early last year, he's been contributing about $2,000 monthly to her bills. This support has been a lifeline for her, and without it, she'd struggle significantly. David never grumbled about helping. He viewed it as supporting my family, and we both felt it was the right thing to do. Fast forward to last week, when David and I were celebrating our 3rd wedding anniversary. We planned a special dinner at a restaurant. My mother, who lives alone and doesn't get out much due to her health, hinted at wanting to join us. Feeling sympathetic and wanting to include her, I invited her to the dinner. David was fine with it. We also invited my younger brother, 28M, and his partner, but they couldn't attend. So it was just my mom, David, and me. The evening started smoothly, but partway through, my mother mistakenly called David by Ryan's name. The first time, David gently corrected her, saying, "It's David, not Ryan." I shot her a glance, but she brushed it off with a laugh, claiming forgetfulness. I was irritated, but let it slide. Then it happened again. She called him Ryan while asking for the salt. I firmly said, "Mom, his name is David." She casually replied, "Oh, right, David, my mistake." David was visibly annoyed but remained polite. I thought that was the end, but then she did it a 3rd time, asking, "Ryan, should we order the cheesecake to share?" David tensed, and before he could respond, I snapped. "His name is David. Why do you keep calling him Ryan?" Instead of apologizing, my mom sighed and said, "Well, Ryan was like family to me. I still think of him that way sometimes." She then looked at David and added, "No offense, but you're a bit like him." It was painfully awkward. David, keeping his composure, said, "I've lost my appetite. I'll be in the car," and left. I ended the dinner abruptly, telling my mom her words were hurtful and inappropriate. She protested, saying I was overreacting, but I cut her off with, "We'll talk later," paid the bill, and left Dot in the car. David was quiet. I apologized for my mom's behavior. He finally said, "I'm not mad at you, but I'm done. I won't be disrespected like that." He then announced he'd stop paying for my mom's medical bills, saying, "If she thinks Ryan is so great, let him help her." I didn't argue. I understood his stance and was furious with my mom for ruining our special night. Her treatment is costly, and she relies on that $2,000 monthly. Without it, she'll struggle financially, as her savings and insurance don't cover everything. I feel a bit guilty knowing this could impact her health, but she brought this on herself. David has been incredibly generous, and she couldn't show basic respect. David has already canceled the automatic payments for her bills and is firm on his decision. I haven't told my mom yet, but she'll notice when the next bill comes due in a week. I dread that conversation. She'll likely call, upset, accusing David and me of abandoning her or claiming I'm choosing my husband over her. We've barely spoken since the dinner, except for a brief text exchange where I called her behavior disrespectful. She replied, "I was joking, you're both too sensitive," which wasn't an apology. I'm torn. I feel my mom's actions were wrong, and I support David's decision to stop the payments. We work hard for our money, and respect should go both ways. If she can't respect my husband or me, it's hard to keep supporting her. But I know this will hurt her. Am I wrong for supporting David and cutting off the financial help we've been giving my mom after she disrespected him and our marriage? Comment 1. Your mom's behavior is shocking. Calling your husband by your ex's name 3 times in one dinner, and then saying she sees your ex as her son. That's beyond disrespectful. Your husband must have felt so humiliated. He's incredibly kind for helping her despite her attitude. I don't blame him for cutting her off. She was biting the hand that feeds her. You're not wrong here. She needs to learn her actions have consequences. Reply. It was humiliating and so out of line. David has been so good to her, and she couldn't show him respect on our special night. To clarify, this wasn't entirely new. My mom has always idolized Ryan, making little comments like, "Ryan used to help me with this," or "Ryan was great at that." We found it uncomfortable but tried to brush it off or gently ask her to stop. This dinner was the worst it's ever been. Update 1. Thank you all for the support on my original post. I shared some comments with David, and he appreciated the encouragement. It's been a week since the anniversary dinner, and things have gotten worse. A few days ago, David revealed something he'd kept quiet about. My mother has been secretly texting him for months, and the messages are upsetting. He showed me the texts, and I was stunned. Since we got married, and especially after he started covering her medical bills, my mom has been sending him messages comparing him to Ryan and saying he's not good enough. There were dozens of texts over months, some subtle like, "Ryan would have checked on me by now," or "Ryan was so helpful around the house." Others were harsher like, "You try but you'll never measure up to Ryan," or "I think Op was happier with Ryan." I was furious reading these. I asked David why he didn't tell me sooner. He said he didn't want to upset me or strain my relationship with my mom, especially with her health issues. He ignored most of her texts or responded neutrally, hoping she'd stop. He also wanted to shield me from the hurt while I was already stressed about her condition. The worst part. The text showed my mom is still in touch with Ryan. She'd mentioned things like, "Ryan got a new job, he's doing great," or "I saw Ryan's mom at the store, such a lovely lady, they invited me to their family picnic." She's been attending Ryan's family events. In one text, after asking for extra money for a new medication, she told David, "Maybe Op should ask Ryan for help. He'd take care of us without complaining." The nerve of suggesting I turn to my cheating ex, who's now married instead of my husband who's been supporting her. I was livid and heartbroken. It feels like she's trying to sabotage my marriage and push me toward Ryan, which is absurd. I have no interest in him. I confronted my mom over the phone. It was tense. I told her I saw the texts and asked how she could do this. She first denied it, saying I was misinterpreting things. When I quoted her messages, she claimed she was motivating David to be a better husband, which is ridiculous. I told her she was disrespecting me and my marriage. She got defensive, saying I shouldn't be snooping in her conversations with my husband and that she can't talk to me because I'm too sensitive. I lost it, saying she had no right and was pushing us away. The call ended with me demanding she stop and her calling me dramatic. David has blocked her number and is done communicating with her. He's sticking to his decision to stop paying her bills, and after seeing those texts, I fully support him. I haven't told my mom the payments have stopped, but she'll notice soon. She hasn't contacted me about it yet, likely because she knows I'm angry. I'm bracing for that fight. After reading her messages, I feel less guilty. She was undermining us while taking our help. My trust in her is broken. I don't know how we move forward. David keeps reassuring me it's not my fault, and we're both processing this betrayal. I'll update if anything major happens. For now, I'm taking a break and figuring out next steps. Comment 1. This is outrageous. Your mom was secretly trying to undermine your marriage. It's like she's obsessed with breaking you and David up. I'm so sorry you're dealing with this. Her fixation on your ex who cheated on you is insane. Going low or no contact seems completely reasonable. She doesn't respect you or your marriage. Reply, I'm still reeling. My mom's always been attached to Ryan, but this is next level. You're right. It's like she's obsessed. Ryan cheated and is married now. There's no way I'd go back to him. David thinks she's living in a fantasy where Ryan's perfect. I haven't gone fully no contact yet, but I'm not speaking to her until I calm down and set boundaries. My brother knows now and is shocked and disgusted. He suspected she wasn't over Ryan, but had no idea she was doing this behind our backs. He's supportive, which helps. I think low contact, at least, is necessary. I can't interact with her normally after this update too. I wish I didn't have more to share, but the drama continues. It's been 2 weeks since the dinner and a week since my last update. After discovering the texts and confronting my mom, I needed time to cool off and gather more details as new information surfaced. I suspected my mom was attending events with Ryan's family, and that was confirmed. A family friend mentioned seeing her at Ryan's sister's recent baby shower. She's been socializing with his family behind my back, my brother, and I confronted her in person at her house a few days ago. She looked nervous when we arrived. We laid out everything, her meetings with Ryan's family, the texts badmouthing David, and her attempts to undermine my marriage. She tried to downplay it, saying, "It's not a big deal, they're just friends." I didn't let it go. I asked if she was trying to break up my marriage to push me toward Ryan, because that's what it seemed like. She denied it, saying, "You're ridiculous, I just want you to be happy." My brother pointed out her behavior, suggested she's still hung up on Ryan and me being together. She finally snapped, admitting she doesn't think David is right for me and that I should have stayed with Ryan. She said I threw Ryan away over one mistake and would regret marrying David. She confessed she's been keeping the door open for me and Ryan, believing I'd realize my marriage was a mistake. It was shocking to hear her say this outright. She justified Ryan's cheating and insisted I'd be happier with him. My brother asked what she hoped to achieve, and she admitted telling Ryan's wife I'm still in love with him and that marrying David was a mistake. I was furious. She's spreading lies that could harm Ryan's marriage to feed her delusion. I have no feelings for Ryan. I told her she's crossed every line, risking my marriage and causing chaos in Ryan's life. She started crying, saying she's only doing this because she loves me and that I'm ungrateful and brainwashed by David. I said she's the one living in a fantasy, idolizing Ryan. The conversation turned into a shouting match until I calmly said, "Enough, stop this or you're out of my life." She scoffed, saying, "You don't mean that, I'm your mother." I replied, "I do mean it," and said she owes apologies to David, me, Ryan, and his wife for her lies. She refused, going silent and sullen. My brother and I left, exhausted. Since then, I haven't contacted her, nor has my brother. She sent me a guilt-tripping text. "I can't believe how you treated your sick mother. I haven't slept or eaten since you yelled at me." I haven't responded. I'm leaning toward cutting her off for now. She shows no remorse and doubles down. David supports whatever I decide but is hurt and worried about me. My siblings, my brother, and our out-of-state sister agree our mom's gone too far. We're considering a family intervention to set firm boundaries, but after the last confrontation, I doubt she'll listen. If that fails, no contact may be the only option. I love the mom I thought I had, but I have no trust in her now. Update 3. This is likely my final update. A lot has unfolded in the past couple of weeks, and we've reached a sort of resolution. First, Ryan's wife contacted me about a week after my last update. She got my number from someone and sent screenshots of messages my mom sent her, claiming I'm unhappy with David and still love Ryan. Completely untrue. I was horrified. I apologized, assuring her it was all lies. She was kind, saying she suspected it was just my mom's words but felt uneasy. I clarified I have no feelings for Ryan and won't interfere in their lives. We had a good talk, and she appreciated my honesty. Ryan also reached out, likely after speaking with his wife. He apologized for not cutting my mom off sooner, thinking he was being kind by letting her join family events due to her health. He admitted he should have stopped contact earlier, as his polite replies to her texts gave her the wrong idea. He's now told her to leave him and his family alone and blocked her. It was a civil conversation, and we wished each other well. I felt relief knowing even Ryan was disturbed by my mom's actions and has cut ties. Finally, my siblings and I held the planned family intervention with my mom a week ago. We clearly outlined our conditions. No contact with Ryan or his family, no negative talk about David or our marriage, and a sincere apology for her actions. Without these, we'd cut her out and stop all support. She refused, getting angry and accusing us of controlling her. She called us cruel for ganging up and said she won't apologize for trying to save me from a mistake. That sealed it. We calmly told her we're going no contact since she won't agree. She yelled as we left, but we were done. My siblings, their partners, and I are now no contact with her. We sent an email confirming this decision for clarity and record. We also provided info on local social services and financial aid programs, as we've withdrawn support and don't want her completely stranded with her medical needs. The stress she caused was unbearable. David supports this and wants no contact unless she shows genuine change. I feel the same. I don't know if she'll ever realize her mistakes, but the door is closed for now. I'm focusing on my marriage and our happiness, free from her toxicity.